We broke the trip now. Now we're f***ed. We don't know we don't know anything. We actually don't know anything.
Yes, and we put huge pressure on them because we have basically the whole map.
Wait, tell me if I'm wrong though. You guys must have had a lot of success in scrims going B, because like you guys went B so many times. I throw this wall up here. I remember this vividly, and I knew Enzo, this was gonna be on the other side of this wall.
So like I said
I don't want to
before,
say that, but A's hell, man. A's hell.
A is really hard to hit just from A main at least. Sometimes when things don't really go in your favor and you start to recognize that when you lose 7-1, you want to try to change the pace, maybe go on their face a bit more. So always do things in a simple way. Play simple, yeah?
I'm not gonna lie, I see Durka as well, and he shoots at me once. And I'm like, oh, f like, I'm probably gonna die here. So I peek to the right while still scoped in, which is actually really rare, because I still want to kill the planet. I'm gonna kill that really badly. But I still can't kill him. But then I re-peek right away because I know Durka has... I know he's a good teammate, I know he's a good player, so what he's gonna do, he's put in not the ideal position. He has to move to the right to block the planter and kill me first.
This is the perfect point in time to review one of the newest maps in the pool from two players who actually played that against each other. That's making it even better. So I can welcome Ayrin as well as Enzo to take a look at nothing else than Pearl with us. Gentlemen, Ayrin, how are you doing today?
Good, good. Oh my god, Enzo, looking good, buddy.
You're looking good too, rough.
So we can directly start reviewing Ayrin and taking a look at nothing else and the composition for you guys, because you obviously did the decision, which is something only Paper X have done, to play with no Viper, right? You played the Astra, you took the main controller, brain controller credit in this. Can you quickly give me the idea of what your personal idea as a team was to say, we don't need a Viper, we do not need to slice away spaces on this map, but rather focus on only that one controller?
So we played a lot of Pearl in the off season, because we, after Copenhagen, we knew we had to make a big difference moving forward into Champions. So I know personally, I as a caller loved playing Pearl, and one of the reasons why we didn't want Viper was because you lose either KO or Fade, and Fade is a crazy OP agent right now. Like if you're not playing Fade on most maps, I think you're doing something wrong. And then what we realized was that Chamber is, crazily dominant on the B long. If you notice when we talk about the demo or like you watch other Pearl maps, if that Chamber has that B line that Durka was trying to have the whole game, that's why we have the KO. The KO knife, you'll see that me and Rory, we worked on a lineup that goes over the wall and it lands on top of that pillar on B long. So that was a really great way for us to do a lot of fakes and do a lot of micro plays where we could take that away. We also thought about Viper and Astra because that for the longest time that was our strongest comp for XSET in North America. The only reason why we didn't do it was because, like I said, we wanted to make sure that we were throwing something a bit different in, because as in Copenhagen we didn't have that great of a start. And I think Copenhagen was a different thing in the fact that we had so many freaking mistakes back to back to back. It didn't have to do anything with comps, but I feel like we just wanted to make a change.
You were one of the few teams that decided to go for Sky instead of the mentioned KO. And you two guys can discuss about that, but I'd like to first of all know from you, what was it for you as a team to say KO is not as good as Sky on this map?
So we've done a lot of tests on this map. I wouldn't say a lot, like maybe XSET had done. So we practiced this map, but not as much as the others. We just prepared for it, and we actually tested many variations of, like, I would say, initiators. So we tested Breach. We found value on Breach, but then we were like, okay, we need more tools to take space, because only Fade, it's maybe not enough. So this is where we found value on Sky. You have more tools to go take space, and dogs to get information about mid round, or A or B mid round when you defend. So that was quite nice. And also we liked KO. And the thing is, we thought about going back to KO during Champions, because we saw that we were actually struggling on this map, because we did not prepare it as much as maybe we wanted to. So I would say our composition was still like not set in stone. It was sort of open, but we knew how to. We had ideas with Sky, so I think we stick to it. And I think the common point between the two compositions here is Neon, the main common point. I would say the odd common point, because let's like Neon is common on the map, but not that common, right? So when you play a comp like this with a lot of initiation tools, Fade KO or Fade Sky, you need on this map a wall like Viper Wall to cross, you know? So you can find that with Harbor maybe right now, but there was no Harbor, and right now the agent is not the best agent either. So when you play Neon, you have that wall that allows you to cross and take space, either on A, but mostly on B, and that's a really valuable wall, you know? So that's the reason
Understandable.
why you see Neon on this map, I think, in both our teams.
So we can directly start with the pistol and dive into it if we're getting there. And here we go. So you obviously start on the defense here, Ayrin, and you know, talking about that, you see directly fnatic is going quite aggressive over there on B.
Yeah, so if you're looking here where Cryo is, you know, we worked a lot on this right here. So he's dogged, but he's not teleporting because not yet. So he teleports now, but then we still want him fighting a little bit. But they were coming up a lot faster, so we call in for the smoke here. The dog tells us that they're coming in. This is a crucial point, though. We do this a lot, where we try to cross quickly, and I think that we read that the Alfire was going to do that, but then that's weird. Neon just looked fighting back there. Like, our Neon just fought there for no reason as well.
That
That's
first
dangerous
kill was
part.
key here.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to add in with you guys as well.
Like when you defend and you see the wall of Neon up here, the defending team is like, okay, we have to do something. We either have to reveal above it, we have to fight, we have to flash to it. They're coming to us, so either we get bullied or we really do something. And their Neon actually fought and killed the main entry, who was the enemy Neon, so our Neon, and that was the key first kill on this round. And it's making the whole I think it's making a difference for the rest of the round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like,
for me,
if their
just to
Neon
add to the
dies,
pistol, Aaron, to look at the Neon when you guys have going through, because what I like about, and you'll see later on how you guys are doing it as well, Enzo, is how do you add extra utility to get the control of back holes? Looking at this pistol here, you couldn't have a second flash from Mystic to be able to flash towards the back of the site, so trying to glide through towards the back and find into the back holes was quite difficult to do, which is for you, for XSET, for example, here, and you have like the KO flash that combines into that slide into the back. So I found that quite interesting that, you know, one of the key things that you need to take the hole into the back holes was a key missing component as well into fnatic taking control of that area.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Zek, he has his stun out in the back, so I think that just wins him the fight there, right?
And I just wanted to rewind a bit as well as to looking into the positioning as to, Aaron, you're the type of person that usually calls on defense here for XSET. And I wanted to know the placements of your stars on Astra. So if you're actually looking at this here and we pause it right where Durka's avatar is at the staircase of top B, you already have an Astra star on defense set up there. I would always think that it would probably be like a gravity well in case Cryo Cells gets like some sort of noise information, try to delay a little bit more. But at this case, you actually just did a recall when fnatic actually started hitting towards that B site. Is there a reason why it was a recall instead of anything else to try to make sure that Cryo Cells can get outside of safety, outside of his TP?
Yeah, well, Carousel is just really good, so I don't think I need to use a lot of stars to help him there. And his plan here, the way we call is he's going for one and he's out. He's not supposed to like linger and fight a lot. And mostly that star is for the future of the rest of the half, right? Maybe not specifically this game, but the rest of half, when they see that star, they might think it's a recall and they'll just run into it. But that might cheese us one round or one kill.
So I can tell you when you play attack here and you see a star, you will always communicate and be like, guys, there's a star right here. Watch out for aggro, like watch out for a play. And that's forcing you to think, forcing you to adapt. And in the end, it just takes it back, you know? So without doing anything, just by taking back a star, it still has a small impact on us and is forcing us to think and be ready for something. And then if he puts it all around, we might end up sleeping through it. We might end up being like, oh, it's okay. This is the star he puts every round on B, right? So we don't care. He's gonna take it back. But one day he's gonna pull it, and the flash is gonna come, and everybody's gonna slide on you. So you know, like that's the point of the star.
Classic conditioning is basically what you're trying to say, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. You know what? We talked about the pistol. I think we could directly head into round 3, where it's obviously bonus weaponry from XSET versus a real buy, you know, the one affordable here from the fnatic side. So if we fast forward a little bit and go to number 3, we're directly going to see that, and here we are. obviously a bit more focused towards the mid side here, Enzo, and this is the kind of thing where you can thrive with a lot of your utility, especially to get that information in combination with something like Neon in this example.
Yeah, so in this kind of full buy, like first full buy against bonus, it's really important to communicate that you're facing a bonus round, at least refresh it so that you're aware of it. And there's a really high chance that the enemy is going to do something aggressive. Maybe not instantly, because the like the win rate of an instant push is not always like reliable. But doing it mid round or doing it when you spot a weakness somewhere, like they did, from what I remember, I think they're going to go art and just push us and destroy us, you know? So the way they did it, like props to them, because this is a really good bonus round. And even if you lose it and you do damage, it's still actually worth it, you know? Like the way they do it, we can see they dog, they triple push like art, and
And they
Kaio is ready
flash.
to react on the push by picking double doors on timing, and they just destroy us and they win the fights. Because they use utility on us and they burst on us. So like honestly, I remember playing this and I was like, yeah, I mean, well played to them. That was obvious, but we had no chance. Like, we knew that was coming. We are aware of it. It's a bonus round. It's coming, you know? There's a high chance it's coming. But sometimes, you know, like, you catch the perfect timing on, like, when you're going to do it exactly. I think they had a really good timing at it. Like, they spotted us. Like, they must have been like, guys, they're taking mid. Okay, group up, fight mid, you know? As simple as that. And they just did it.
Yeah, so what Enzo just said, like a lot of that is freaking like, like strategy 101, right? Like we wanted to make a move because we had worse weaponry. So we had to, I had planned to fight mid earlier in the half. But then there's two small things that kind of made it even easier was that they didn't take the star back from B, right? So Cryo at the whole time just knew that they weren't out B. And then Alfie, their Neon just came out really quickly. So if you notice, our KO has Rory Def has a lineup that we practice. As you see in this round here, he'll move up to that corner and he'll throw
Of
the
B-Link,
flash.
yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't pull the star back here. So KO immediately runs to there. We hear the Neon, and then we all group up here, and then he throws a flash, pop flash, and then we're like, oh, delay, because we didn't want to be too obvious, like he said, like they're just watching it. But then I think this timing here, we caught them off, and
And from
that's
what I
yeah,
remember being a victim of this, I was full blind. I was full. Like, really, it's really, I like this because it's really explosive. So
yeah,
you really lower the chances of your enemy. And you know, they had information about Neon being here. So even if they get one, it's worth it. They use a lot of utility, right? But they get one kill on Neon here. It's really worth it because after that, the enemy is going to react either on A or on B. They're going to do something, and most likely on A because here B was clear. But you have stars on A, so you're ready to react. And if you go back to it, like they are aware of it. If you go back to the moment they aggress mid on the VOD
yeah. There's three people
and
there.
Fade, so yeah, 3 guys here. They don't care about A main because you want to maximize your firepower in mid, which is I think the right way to play. And look at Fade precisely. Fade group up with them. She's gonna dog and they're gonna flash at the same time. We're gonna get destroyed, whatever word you want to use, yeah. And then after we all die, keep looking at Fade. So we have no one B, there's no smoke on B, so they have information on B. They're gonna fight us, we're gonna die, dog and flash same time, come out, fight, kill everyone, and then reset the round, reset the round, reset the round. You have man advantage here. Look at Fade, she's dogging
Yeah,
like A
scouting.
main
Yeah.
instantly. And this is really good from Fade, from the XSET Fade, because she knows
Yeah,
that a normal reaction from the enemy team is gonna be to push A instantly to like make it up for the loss in mid. You lose space, you lose people in mid. The thing you want to do when there's 4 guys mid is maybe come out A and take A. But Fade by dogging here is either preventing that or getting info about what's going on. So they're ready to know where the reaction is, you know? So that's a really good round. Like if you want to teach a round like this to maybe a new Valorant team and explain what everyone is doing, this I think is a key, like a perfect example of bonus round, like how to play a bonus round on this map.
So I got a question about, I guess, I don't know if you can remember back to, obviously this is months ago, but this round specifically, was Cryo with the Marshall a big enough threat for you guys to want to avoid these longer angles, right? Because they have Spectres, Marshals, a Ghost here on BCJ. Was there like a specific thought process going into not just hitting B again, like early in the game?
They also hit B the second round. We didn't show it, but that was already 2 rounds at
Yeah.
B. So, what do
Like
you think,
so, but
Enzo?
obviously, like pistol round, that kind of sucks. It's pistol round could have gone either way. Anti-eco, I think Cryo did pop off, grab a few kills with the Marshal, but now you have these Vandals, you have the rifles, right? And so instead of like fighting in the close corners of Art or B Link, where you do get that run and gun presence, was there something specific about that round 3 full buy that you
So
felt you needed to get mid?
at round 3 of this match, there is no thought process about where the weakness is, where the strength
Okay.
is, what weapon they have potentially. Like there is no thought process around that. It's just like you do a call. I mean, from what I remember from the game, right? I'm not
Mhm.
saying in general. I'm saying from this game and
For
from what
sure.
I remember, it was just like we do this round right now, and we do it because we want to play a default and try to see what they do.
Mhm.
So there is no thought process with, oh, he has a Marshal here, maybe it's dangerous. There was no thought process about it. And I think Ayrin is right. The fact that maybe on round 2 we went B, maybe we decided not to go B because of that on the next round, to not
Mhm.
be obvious about anything.
I also
Possibly, I don't
I
know.
also think like if they went B again, right? Like what he just said, and that's 3 rounds lost in a row, and didn't get info on mid or A. For me, like even as a caller, like a player on T side is like, fuck man, like 3 times we went B and it didn't work out. We don't have any info on the other side of the map. We don't know if they pushed through A. We don't know if they walked through mid. We just know that we suck at B. And I think that's sometimes you have to weigh it, and sometimes
Yeah.
maybe 3 times B. You're right, Tanner. Maybe going B with the rifles and taking out the Marshal is the play. But how do you ever really know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. And that's why I like this kind of stuff too, to be able to pick your guys' minds, because I didn't, to me, like, I think, okay, we went A 2 times in a row. Let's not go A again because they're gonna expect it. But then, being able to sit here and dissect this round, I didn't think that thought actually kind of popped into your guys' head in these games that are high stakes, where you're like, hey, let's just not do it 3 times in a row. Even though our weapons might be better, we don't want to hit B again. So I know, I appreciate you giving that insight.
Make sure to subscribe to Valoranting because they ask some pretty good questions, so you don't want to miss out on the answers.
Right. So moving further, round 5, because XSET has been on a damn streak. You guys have been popping off, continuously getting round after round, and we're already at a 4-0 scoreline taken at the 5th. And there has been a little bit of a change pace. Obviously, Fnatic is focusing more on the A side itself, at least for the moment, until the knife arrives. So talk me through this a little bit, particularly in this one, Ayrin, about how you continuously keep up the same strength on defense when you're winning continuously rounds. If there ever this thought in mind being like, hey, we need to change something in defense, even though we're winning continuously.
Yeah, so a lot of the way that defense is called and worked around it, like on many teams, is around the star player, and ours at the time was Cryo. And I told him a lot. I'm not sure if I called it or he called it this round, but I said you have to move around. So as you see on B side, we threw a smoke and then we threw a neon stun to pretend we're pushing B, whatever. But then we're stacked on A. It's more of a gamble than anything here. And then Rory has a really good kill here, but
A
honestly,
crazy kill.
it's just
So
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, again, I'm talking micro here.
Mhm.
If that entry is done a way or another by Alphayer, just like on the pistol round, it changes all around
Yeah,
completely. If that KO
100%.
dies, he has the opening, and then the guys on A are going to be in sync with the rest, and then we just crunch them. So we have a much higher chance to win it. When I say much higher, it's like 50% more. So
100%.
micro-wise, what could have happened is that instead of just a slide where he makes it maybe 50-50, like maybe the Sky Flash closer to the box,
Mhm.
or wait for Sky's dog, or something like this, and then pick with it to maximize your chance to kill the guy close here. That could have made a difference. But here I'm just talking micro, like what the players can do. Macro-wise, what I see is that, and that's, I think, how to summarize this game for us. This round, we are extremely dangerous, actually, because we rely on mid a lot.
Mhm.
So that's a split, and we do it from mid, obviously, and we are in sync, so we are dangerous. And when you look at the whole game, the only moment we were actually really dangerous, and that was not a lot of rounds during this half, is when we use mid a lot. And I think this is the way Pearl works as well. You cannot just go out A, go out B, go out B, go out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just us being young on this map, I think. It was a new map, especially back in the day. And you live and you learn. You play some games, you play some pracs, and then you draw conclusions. And yeah, that's it. Like, I think we should have used mid a bit more during this game if we wanted to win the attacking side.
Right, and this brings me to the point. Okay, I have a very general question. It's not game related, but it's the perfect time as you've just mentioned it. Would you say, particularly because you Ayrin played Crossfire, if I'm not totally wrong, and obviously you Enzo played a lot of CS previously. Would you say, and I'm starting with you Enzo on this, would you personally say, compared to CS as a shooter you played, is Valorant more micro or macro compared to that?
I would say, wow, more.
More what?
It's out. No, I mean, I'm focusing on the word more because it can be
Ah.
more in quantity and more in quality. It's
Yeah.
really hard to answer that. Macro-wise, there is definitely more in terms of quantity on Valorant right now
Yes.
because you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
take into account 5 different agents who have 5 different kits, spells, 5 different ultimates. Do they have it? Do they not have it? What happens when they have it? What happens when you attack site and there's a breach ult? What happens when you defend and they have a fade and breach ult and brimstone ult on what map and stuff? You know what I mean? I'm speaking fast because
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
how the
I
game
get what
is.
you
This is
I
how
got
the
you.
game is, right? So
Yeah.
like when you play the
100%.
game, you have to think about all of this. On CS, you don't have to think about this. I'm not saying it's more simple. I'm just
Yeah.
saying macro-wise, there is less quantity on CS, things to think about.
Yeah.
So I think the macro is there is to sum it up, there is more macro, like things to think about on Valorant. When it comes to micro, it's extremely different because mechanically speaking on Valorant, you cannot really hold an angle. So the game is more dynamic. People are going to move around more. Like people are going to peek more, are going to move around more. And you on Valorant, you find yourself in situations where if you stay idle and static, you're going to lose the round or lose the advantage that you have over your opponent because he has a lot of utility to make you move out or just kill you. So sometimes you're going to be rewarded on Valorant for making a move, surprising your opponent, peeking him and stuff. And that explains why right now people just peek and over peek. I am against over peeking, just to make it clear, That's
I
not
get you.
good because it's extremely situational. But micro-wise, the game is different from CS because it's more dynamic because of the utility and stuff. So yeah, I think that's my answer. I think there's, in terms of quantity, there is much more on Valorant to think about.
Right.
In terms of quality, I think CS is very pure. CS is very clean, very flat. Like, it's like a chess game, right? So
Get you.
I like both of them. I really I admire CS. I like both of them. All the game principles that you have on CS, you can use them on Valorant right now, and they work. Honestly, like macro-wise, it's working.
As an entry
And
level,
yeah, that's
yeah.
my answer. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like both are very comparable. I really like to compare them actually. I think some people say, oh, you cannot compare CS and Valorant, but I think you can. It's fine. Like it's totally fine. Both games are incredibly good. And
Nice.
yeah, that's
Nice.
it.
No, yeah, 100%. I agree with a lot of things you just said. For instance, the overpeaking. It's like when you watch Inferno on CT side, right? How often do you have like the CTs pushing down mid or like mid round? They're pushing down apartments. It doesn't happen. When you watch the highest level of CS or every other FPS. In Valorant, like when there's no noise, sometimes you just have one person just walking and peeking, right? And if he clears that hallway, you pretty much win the round because they're going to the other bomb site. But if he dies there, you have a big chance of losing. And I think what Enzo said was actually really really right about CS being pure, because I used to be a huge 1.6 fan, and I derive a lot of the strategies I work and think about from CS as well. And it's the fact that like CS is like chess to me, where you have more time, but you need to think about making the right decision more with a higher percentage rate. So like if there's like 10 strats or 10 rounds, you want to make sure that like you're giving your team, the best decisions within the round to make. And you know, um in Valorant you have way more. You know, you have way more options, you have way more, you have not more time, but you have way more opportunities to do more crazy stuff. Which also means you can make some more mistakes. Like, you know, you could flash your own teammate going up catwalk on ascent, but then you can go quickly mid to B. I feel like in CS it's really, really difficult to do that sometimes, where like if you miss a flash or a smoke on Inferno and you don't have another smoke, but in Valorant you have Omen, you can have another smoke in 20 seconds. It's not ideal, but you can't really miss those utilities in CS. I think like once you miss certain executes in CS, you lose your opportunity right away. Like
Right.
you lose the round. But in Valorant, you'll notice like crazy rounds, man, where like it could be a 1v3 and the guy pops his killjoy ult and then they all run at him and he kills all three. Um, it's a totally different game. But if to talk briefly on the topic of just the comparison, is just I think CS you can focus a lot more on your crosshair, and it's more important to aim in CS. Valorant, sometimes when I'm playing, I'll be shooting and then I'll flick and I'll be like, wow, I got that kill, but I didn't even feel like I was aiming. But in CS, I feel like you really have to hit that shot, because if you make that mistake in CS, it's 1v5 for the bomb site.
Right. I was just randomly having this question because it came to my head. You just mentioned the micro thing, and I was kind of curious. Let's move further, right? Because let's take a look at the timeout thing. Because obviously, you guys at XSET were absolutely rocking it right there. You were doing wonderful work. And when we take a look at the timeout, and so what is usually happening when you're down that much, right? There's not too many rounds and a half of Valorant. What is usually the call from Mini in general, and be like, what brings you back on track?
So there was a lot of timeouts on a lot of different maps during this tournament, so I cannot remember exactly what happened on this specific timeout against XSET. But all I know is usually what you want to do is just don't focus on like the negative things too much, but just try to find out why what we do is not working. And my advice should have been like, okay, let's try to use mid more and rely more on our ultimates to win the rounds and try to split more. So that's what I should have said. I don't know if I said it like as a second IGL at least to help Oster make the right decision. And then I don't know what happened next. I don't know exactly what we said. Maybe just sometimes you time out, you just chill, and you give some insight about what they're doing. Like focus on what they're doing, like where's the operator, like what they like to do and stuff, and try to just find a simple solution and just develop your game plan. Stick to what you know is working. If you find something that is working or something that is usually working in prax, and I am not sure, but I think we're gonna go like faster on the pace, or we're gonna try to split more, or I don't know what happens next. I don't remember exactly, but I think our way to play there from round 5 is going to change.
We can find out.
In terms of pace, yeah, I want to find out, bro.
Let's find it. Let's find it out. We're directly getting into it.
Hopefully we win a round, yeah?
I can tell you one thing. You win a round.
You did.
So obviously what you say kind of comes true.
Can I just squeeze in here, and Enzo, you guys do win this round, but it looked like XSET were a bit more prepared for this hit, like setting up for Alpha to go backside. But you guys ended up getting done. Like kind of talking through this, if you notice anything, like what changed, right, from your previous B hits to this one, if you just kind of see it as the round plays out.
So first, we don't rush it down. Yeah, like we know we want to show more presence at B, because if we show 0 presence at B, that guy here posted on me is gonna be cheating and he's gonna be like, guys, there's no one B, just make a play in mid or stack A, and he's gonna have information so early on B with chamber that all the rotation is gonna have time to come back. So that's the first thing. Try to annoy this chamber, make him either fall back or make him like scared to pick against Derke boy. Yeah, try to do that. And second, by putting pressure B here, one of the reaction from the enemy could be to push mid, get info mid or just react mid and push mid. So we are ready for this. So right now what we are doing is that the start of the round, we are chilling a bit more. We are putting pressure on one side, but on the rest of the map, we are ready for an aggression, like ready for a reaction, yeah? And then second phase of the round, we decide to finish B. Right now, we already decided to finish B, yeah? and that's pretty much it. We just roll it down with the execute, and we see what happens.
On your end, Aaron, too, while this round is playing out, because we just gone through the timeout as well, right? Fnatic's trying to figure out how they could break your defense. On your end, though, everything seems to be working quite well. No matter if you're pushing towards mid, working on the extremities, everything's fruitful. So during that timeout, are you just trying to calm the nerves, making sure that the morale stays up, or are you actually trying to call and figure out what the next play is going to be going into this round 6? Like, what's the expectation now?
Yeah, if we replay the round, like we kind of knew because we knew that Durka was probably going to go belong, or at least that's what I thought. But like based on what Enzo said, everything worked out perfectly for them this round. Look, we start 3B. We don't ever start 3B, but they don't call the star back, and the dagger doesn't hit, only hits one person. So we're like, okay, they might still go B. So the neon is still on top of the box. But when the Sky Dogs and they push the chamber off, they've waited so long that look at where we're on A. The two people on A are really vulnerable right now. We don't know what the hell's happening. We don't know if they're walking up mid or art. So I think I call for Neon to rotate. Standard. But then it's such bad timing because the second that the Neon rotates to A, chamber TPs, and then KO goes backside. And then it's just perfect for them. Like right here. Neon starts to move, and then we lost out here. We didn't play enough info on the A side. We should have fade dogged. We should have eyed on A, but we didn't. We were a bit too passive. And look at our setup on A now. It's just, oh, we have 3 there. It's so good. But no, we have no info, man. They could be lurked up anywhere. It's really bad. And then Neon is on the move again here, and then we lose.
Is that something that happens after time? It's a might odd question, but in the previous rounds, we've been a little bit more proactive in my eyes. In some sense, for example, your mid plays that you had with a KO throwing it. Well, is that something that just happens after a timeout that you sometimes just become, let's say, more scared or more conservative in your play, where you'd be like, okay, they timed out, now they're gonna be crazy.
We didn't want to walk into one of the best, if not the best, snipers in Europe with the most broken gun in the world. Like he would just kill us. If I pushed A here, he would kill me. I'm sorry. Like,
makes sense. Makes absolute sense. I'm fully with you. I think you had a question, Vansilli, right?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the retake then on top of that, Aaron, because at this point, yes, you're losing the site, but it still seems that it's sort of doable, right? Because Zekin was still alive, the neon wall was still alive. There's still an opportunity to do some sort of a retake for a group, but Zekin just decides to dive through, and I'm assuming at this point just trying to kill Spike, so that it just makes Fnatic scramble a little bit more. So I'm assuming this is none of the IGL calling. It's just like, I'm feeling this right now. I have to try to make the play and see if I can turn around over. Okay.
Right. Beautiful. Okay. You know what? We can move on from that. You obviously won your first round, as predicted, Enzo. Great. So we move to further to round number 8, if I'm not totally wrong. And look at that, because at that point in time, things look a little better. You lost the following one. I'll tell you that much. That didn't go so well. But again, your default is way more focused on A this time around. So let's take a look how this round plays out a little bit, and you just guys through as always.
Yeah, and just to kind of add to the round here, what the hell is this call that you're just like? Are you just like, there's no way they hit B again?
So
and do you guys just slap a trademark?
I think this is Cryo. I think Cryo said, I said, what's going on at B? He says, I'm like, you're being a menace at B. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't think they'll go B. So, and I can tell this is his call because he put his trip there. He said, I don't want to opt there anymore. And, as stupid as it sounds, sometimes against the best teams in the world, like Fnatic, you have to take gambles. It's not always about playing the perfect game. That's so boring. If you're always playing the perfect game, make the least amount of mistakes, make the best rotations, you're probably not gonna win, man. Like, it's not gonna work.
I think, like, I don't know how to say it properly in English, maybe, but I think what you're doing now is not about playing the perfect game or not playing the perfect game. I think this is completely right. Because no matter what happens, here you're strong in mid, you're strong on A. If they come out B, you can retake S5. And if you have the utility to do so, it should be fine, right?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes, and it depends on the map as well, but sometimes gambling something like this, S5, is actually fine. like it depends on the enemy ultimates as well. Sometimes you want to do that against Kaio, for example, Kaio ultimate. You want to stack something and just play full retake on the other. It's possible, you know. So I don't think, that's how it works in English. I don't think it's unperfect to do that, you know. I think it's fine. I think it, not always, of course, but sometimes I think it can work out
I'm
like
not
very
sure
easily.
what happens in this round. If we go back a bit, it's just I remember I felt so bad for Mystic here because they have no time for some reason. I think this round they took it a bit too slow, and
Yeah.
it sucks because they lost their art guy early.
And
Like,
Well, we're not doing much on this
Yeah.
round because we just take A. On Pearl, you cannot really hit any site if you only have A main.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, coming out A main is really hard. Like, you usually need art or something else, or you need a lurker that can, you know, redirect the team based on what you do on A. Something
Yeah.
like this, you know? So, like I
I
said
don't want to say that,
before,
but A's hell, man. A's
yeah,
hell.
A is really hard to hit just
Yeah.
from A main at least. But, like, that's what I said a little bit before. Like, we are dangerous on this map. I think anyone is when you rely on mid. It doesn't mean you have to spam mid, but at least do something about mid. Like only B or only A is not gonna work out. Yeah. So hopefully in the next round we're gonna rely on mid more because we're gonna realize oh, only A main is really hard to do. Only B is really hard to do. And it's also understand to spot the rounds where when you watch the VOD, like, was your chance to win this round really high or really low? Were you really dangerous during this round? And that I can easily spot. We talked about the A split a bit before when, remember, Alfire slides and there's a neon, Kaio, sorry,
Yep.
on the
Yep.
stairs. That round, I can identify it as we could have won it very easily. Like, honestly. And that you can take it as a reference round and be like, okay, that round, we did a good job actually. We lost it, right? But macro wise, we did a good job. And it's really important to, even if you lose the round, to sometimes identify the round and be like, we did things right here. So we need to use that as a reference and do it again.
No, I agree. And it's super hard in practice sometimes where like a caller or a teammate like calls a perfect strategy and every single person on your team dies and you don't kill one person on the other team. Like literally flawless by the other team. But like what Enzo just said is like one small microplay, one small timing, and you could have won the round flawlessly. It's really hard.
Yep.
That's what makes the game hardest at the highest level is to decide in practice which one is what. Was it reasonable or was it not? Can we learn or can we not?
When you were talking about timing, Aaron, and I just want to go back to one more thing rather than that run in itself to ask you, Enzo, was it like a timing issue too? Because if I'm looking back at that map or that round, sorry, and I was trying to analyze it here, it almost seems like you were ready to hit like a Seeker's Nightfall into the A site from like the orb because Alpha Air was there too at the orb, potentially ready to dash down. But at like 56 seconds, a knife comes out and it hits actually Mystic, where the Seekers can't come out at like under a minute. So was that like, and then you saw the rotate after to what you were talking about, like that mid to A hit right after to try to take art, right? So is that like more into like, hey, the main line at the beginning, the main goal at the beginning of this round is to try to hit the A side hard, and off that knife try to do a mid round to do that split into A. Am I overthinking this when I was looking at this round?
No, I think you're not, but there is two things to take into account. First, I think our goal was really not really to hit A from the start of the round. I think this was just an A default without any reset on the round. So usually you want to do A default, put a guy here, then go back, take mid. You know what I mean? Like play a default round. And here we just did A default. What's happening mid? I don't know. I'm smoked. What's happening B? They're not pushing. Okay, let's group up, go A. That's pretty much it. So that's the first points to take into account in this round.
Okay.
Second point, and I think that's the main one. That's the main difference maker. They made a big ass gamble, and that gamble was, I don't know. We cannot really call it luck. We can call it reading the game and being like, Cryo is like, okay, on B, I've been really annoying for them. I'm just not gonna go B. We're gonna leave it open. I'm just gonna go A because I have my op and I take decisions with it. So let's do it, you know. And the rest of the team is just stacking around. So I wouldn't call it luck that there's a KO knife preventing Mystic from doing something. I would just call it a consequence of the round and a consequence of making a play, you know? Like, so again, props to them. This is sometimes it's really, I know it's really hard to you know, differentiate like, oh, they're lucky, or oh, they played well here. And in that scenario, they're not lucky. They just played well. Like honestly, like, okay, they made a decision. Maybe that's a lucky one because they decide to stack A. But considering the way the game is going, it's not luck to say, okay, I've been really menacing on A, like really annoying on A. I'm just gonna go on B. Sorry, I'm gonna go somewhere else with my chamber, and the rest is gonna stack. I think it's fine. You know, like this is not luck. This is just reading the game and trying to be annoying on another place with an an operator.
We could probably call it calculated, safe unpredictability. What you just mentioned, I think that could sum it up quite well. You know what? But I have good news for you. We have success again. You know, we're going to round number 9.
Wait, really?
Yeah, 100%. I swear to God, you actually, yeah. It's a second round you win, and the third of it's not much more you get in this half. But let's take a look at it.
I'm about to stand up.
Wait, yeah, please.
Wait, one thing. The
Yes.
POV of the observer is on the same as the last
I
round
know.
we won.
Don't be confused. You win this round. I promise you. It's funny.
The round starts the same.
The round starts the same. It's no mid take. And Cryo is back on A and B as well. So it doesn't start too good, technically speaking.
And they're stacking B again. They have a read.
Yeah, as always.
I mean, that's normal. We pressure it.
Yeah, we were on the stream.
I can tell you these are my bullets. On the guy behind screens, these are my bullets. I'm telling you now.
Well, at least I'll ask that then, because you know, as we're having that conversation, Enzo, you were saying how you had a lot of strengths of splitting into sites, working out towards art, trying to do a little bit more towards that B link. But this round right here, all out 5-player hit into the B site. What was the call to say, hey, let's just do the 5-man and try to get into here? Because you've already used both of your ults on that previous round, right?
Yeah. Sometimes when things don't really go in your favor and you start to recognize that when you lose 7-1, you want to try to change the pace, maybe go on their face a bit more. So always do things in a simple way. Play simple, yeah? I mean, at least that's my way to see things.
Yep.
But try to change the pace. Either go really slow and then make your play, which is what we did on the other round, or just go on their face and hit them hard and do some unexpected stuff like pushing spawn, pushing B-link and stuff. And that's exactly what we did.
Exactly. Wait, tell me if I'm wrong though. You guys must have had a lot of success in scrims going B. You guys must have been owning, because like you guys went B so many times.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot go into details about stuff, but no, we've not been owning actually on Pearl, on Prax. That I can tell. Like we've been just, and compared to the other maps, we've not been owning. We've been owning on the other maps though. Like I'm not talking in the present, I'm talking in the past, but we owned on the other maps, and on Pearl we were just like, I think, average, just trying to find out what's working on the map, you know?
Yeah.
And again, I think we could have relied more on art and B-link, because I think these are the key areas of the map right now. When you think about it, this triangle in the middle of the map, art, B-link, and Ivy, that's how I call it. I don't know how you guys call that sewers thingy.
Yeah.
This triangle, I think, is the key part of the map.
Or at least the rotator, right? Like making sure he doesn't have like info on the door or like art.
Yes, or put pressure on them sometimes to either kill them on rotation or prevent them from rotating because they're scared of someone taking timing here. But look here, we put pressure B and you have no one art or IV to, like you're not scared of a lurker in any way right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It was that this game, it felt like scared of a lurker. If you watch back the VOD, there's a lot of times where we full rotate, like 5 people.
Yes.
Straight to A, straight to B.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you play 5B, I mean 4B or 5B, 5A, and you don't use mid enough.
Yeah, so I have two comments on that. The Skydog at the start that spots Zekken behind screens, because your bullets, Enzo, ended up getting Zekken down to 15 HP, and then they actually like Bogdan's law that the operator, and Cryo's the first person to peek back screens, and he has a rifle instead of an op. Not that Cryo can't rifle, but he has been kind of shitting on everybody with a Marshall or with an op this entire game. So like that kind of set the precedence for the surround, that spam, the Skydog, and then the spam onto Zekken. I want to put a pin in this. You said B-Link is very important as much as art. And I just want to remind everybody to keep that in the back of their minds for when we eventually get to the last round of the half, because that will come back up. But yeah, so right here,
Okay.
Cryo gives away the operator because Zekin obviously low HP, can't take a gunfight, but can surely shoot an op. And then Cryo on this swing, maybe he has an operator and things go a little bit different there.
Almost looks like the flash went in between the neon walls too, so Def couldn't get the best value for that swing out from back halls when they were trying to go out from Cryo.
Right. So after we got that, we had great success for Fnatic, but we obviously have to get back to reality, which
Oh my,
unfortunately.
come on.
Yeah, I have to be that guy.
They're
you know?
same region. They're same region.
I'm glad
know,
I'm
the
not
second
hosting
half
anymore.
The second half looks
Guy's an
better. The
asshole.
second half. Hold on. I'm a big fan of good European Valorant. You cannot tell me differently. I know my region very well, but you have to give credit to XSET. They were playing well. So let's take a look at round number 10 again. After the quick B hits came in again, let's take a look if the observer chose the same option. No, you see, this is not a round for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Easy.
You have to go on that KO, jumping for the knife. If you do that, we win the round.
Yeah, but again, basically full on B push. With even starts with an
we have
opening
the
quite
entry.
well. Yeah, you do.
That's nice.
Most of the time it is, but let's see.
And then we force the chamber to TP away. So right
Mhm.
here, job is done. I think the code is made to accelerate because we have an entry here. So we set things up and we burst out.
So like,
then-
look at the minimap right now. I'm already on. Look, if you pause like right here, we're already here. That's the problem with I think the T side, like not like entirely biggest problem, but there wasn't enough lurk pressure through art or through A. So even though they got the opening pick, and then they pushed the chamber off, and they tried to go quite fast, not the fastest, but like pretty fast. It's kind of sucky for them because look at us. There's already 4 people here. It's not fun. Trust me, it's just not fun. Like the
Eh.
fade's not even turning around because the trip's not broken, right? And the
Yeah.
trip was never really broken throughout this entire game. That's why the rotates are so quick. And then even the fade all comes out, and it hits all 4, I think.
Yeah, I want to take the moment as well to like give a shout out to just like the pro level of like adapting to stuff on the fly, because for example when you were talking about at the beginning of the game here, the knife that Def throws on the top of the pillar, Durka adapts to that to play outside that radius. This round here, it's one of those, hey, Fnatic always has Mystic maybe dogging from the corner of the ledge or flashing through that area, and at some point Def just like crouches in the smoke to get the kill through. But then I actually do see the value of getting that Sky in that lineup, and then Alpha is stunning on the right side, so a different way of working the back holes here for Fnatic too. So I just like that it's not necessarily a set strategy or a set composition that allows for you to get the best value off taking the B site. I think you're able to have good fundamentals and good set strats from both of these compositions to overtake the B site quite well.
No, I think
Yes,
the
and I
dog
think-
is
I
actually
think-
pretty good. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
the dog is good, but the knife is also really good. Like both are really valuable no matter what. And I think this is the last round. I mean, the round we just watched after we get the entry. I think freezing and letting a lurk work in mid, try to be ready for a mid push, try to take space into art, or just even breaking that trap could make a difference during the round. Because then maybe they have to reset the round. Like we are
That's
just
the kill.
freezing. We have an
Yeah.
operator holding this. So if they want info, they have Fade ult, but then after Fade ult, what do they have? They have maybe Prowlers, but then we are happy if she uses Prowlers here in Belong to get info, because then she's not going to use them to fight. A reveal maybe, like, or a guy just peeking. And if a guy is peeking, then the operator is most likely going to kill him. Because we have Derke boy, you know? So, like, I think freezing, holding, and letting a lurker do his job would have been the solution for this round. So again, trying to be dangerous using mid more.
Yeah.
That's the essence. Basically, this is a poster we're going to print after this.
Yeah, exactly. We should print this.
Print what?
Print like use mid on fracture.
Your slogan, yeah, your
On
slogan.
curve, on curve. If you put fracture,
Fracture, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Going on from this, I got obviously it's not looking too good. We're going for the second timeout. I don't know if you can remember what has been said there. I mean, you guys have been having the right kind of people with you, but is there something you remember that was going on for that second timeout on your end where you're like, we have to do this and have to do that?
No, I think at this point, you don't have to think about, oh, fuck, we're losing. That's really bad. You don't have time for that. And you don't want to put anyone in a bad situation mentally, or even yourself in a bad like position mentally, right? So you just
Mhm.
want to focus on the solutions at all times. Focus on solutions.
Yeah.
And here I think that's what we are doing, trying to maybe use mid now. I don't know.
You win the
I think
round, I can tell you that.
yeah, focus on let's see let's see what happens. We win the round.
You don't.
Let's
You
see
win
what
the last
happens.
round. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this
Oh, we
one.
don't win that. Liar.
No, the next
Come
one.
on.
Hey.
Oh, wait.
If
We
you
didn't
get
have
not
KO
this
on a
one.
knife
Well,
that
you
round.
do
We didn't
go
KO on a
mid.
knife that round.
Let's take a look though, because you're doing your mid play again after the time.
But,
Decide to
I
be
see
aggressive.
I like that. We have the intention of
Yeah.
playing mid, and these guys are stacking 5 mid. Come on, bro.
What are you supposed to do?
No, I think that's okay. What we're supposed to do is at the start of the round, keep putting that pressure B to make them fall back. If we see there's nothing, maybe take more space there. On A,
mean, you
we see
did.
it's kind of it's actually good with the sky, but then he's
Yeah.
leaving, right? Here, when you freeze on the map, I recognize that play. It's a set play. I think the point of that play is to put huge pressure into B link and go back into an A split. And we gave a name to that. It's like a set play. It's like a strat. And I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it's one of these rounds where we put pressure on one side. If we get entries, we use these entries to maybe finish on B, you know. But
Yeah.
then we go back to the other side, and that kind of play I really like it because it's allowing you to split A or split B, and you're using mid, so it's great. Yeah, that's exactly it. Now we
It's
are
a-
grouping
Yeah.
up. So look, when you take
Yeah.
the picture of mid, we're pushing B link as a trio. Huge pressure
Oh,
there. Going
what are
back,
we doing?
form.
There's 4 people in the.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just wanted to
But
say, what the hell?
that's a consequence of us playing mid,
Yeah.
really.
See,
So
exactly. Yeah.
okay, can you go back to when we take B link? So we look at things like purely macro wise.
Okay,
At the moment when we take B link, yeah,
further back.
a little bit before that.
Okay, okay. Let's
Like the neon
See
wall.
here,
Yeah.
perfect. This is very good. Here we have 1-3-1. So we have
Yeah.
a trio, 3 guys in B link. We
Yeah.
have Lurker, the guy on A. That guy is the +1. Is the guy you're going to rely on to be synchronized when you split A. And you have also a Lurker on B. And either you can rely on the guy B or on the guy A. Here the guy B falls back to us because he's going to be the +1. So the guy directly linked the attack trio. And these are basic macro things I'm explaining here. And if you move on, so you can play from now. Right now, you're going to have trio into B-Link with Sky being the +1. Now Sky is making a new trio with the guys going Art. And now the +1 is becoming Derke, so the chamber. Yeah? So that guy, he keeps putting pressure, he TPs away, and then he joins the pack to have huge firepower into Art. And technically, we can keep pushing that. The Astra on the side has to be synchronized with the rest of the group, and then we can have A side. As simple as that. That's really basic macro. It's forming up attack groups, like using the attack groups, trying to understand where the enemy is strong, where the enemy is weak, and adapting on it. And that round, I can tell you, I can identify it as a round where we could have won it very easily because we are doing things right. Honestly, it's a 4v4. Like here, it's an after plan, so it's another phase of the round, and it's involving more micro, like how you play the round, So it's about crossfires, about peek on me, about utility for after plant and stuff, and that's pretty much it. So this round is really good from us. We could have won it, really.
And even I wanted to just get your reaction as well, Ayrin, to continue on, because at some point when Enzo's talking about the hit towards the A site, and you're like, "What the fuck? We got 4 players towards Vine, like at that mid spot, like just cornered there." So is there like an issue as like what you're trying to develop reactively into what fnatic was doing at that point?
Can we go back to like where like the same time when he gets to the door?
120. Yeah, roughly like that.
So once again, we put the chamber trip A, so that means in this specific round we're doing something a bit crazier. So I think I was even telling Brendan to fade, like, fuck it, 5 mid, like we'll fight, just fight it. But this is the problem here. So they make a move first, and then we're a bit scared. We're like, whoa, they never do this. Whoa, this is a lot of stuff. We're like, okay, whatever, we'll clear this guy, we'll kill this chamber, whatever. And when we go do that, he TPs out, and there's already 4 guys or 3 guys are.
Yeah.
It's too quick. Like, is a demonstration of a really good default, a really good round, because So Zekin, I think I remember him saying, "Let's fight art. There's only one here max. Or there's only 2 people here no matter what." But he turns the corner and there's 4 people in his freaking face, and he's like, "Oh man."
So
And the round's
basically
over.
to summarize the way you said, and also connected to what Enzo said, basically the big fighting group of 3 you imagine still to be towards Link, then
Exactly,
disappeared and
yeah.
went over Art, was shifting your focus too fast where you couldn't adapt basically.
Yeah, we couldn't even get the words out fast enough
Yeah.
by the time they were already moving.
Mm.
And honestly, I think this is a round that they should be able to win in the post plan. It's just like I said, things happen in Valorant that you can't explain. But this is a good round by them, and is a good chance of winning for sure.
It seemed individually lost. I mean, if we particularly take a look at it again, I think it is a call that Mystic makes where he wants to extend and go backside, but I think you two were just not in sync in that sense.
I think he wants to aggro on a flash as soon as he
Yeah.
hears them really close. And when you
Yeah.
play a Sky, I think it's an okay move, right? But
Mhm.
at
Yeah.
the moment he does that, I have a flight on the left, so I
Yeah.
kill that guy, and then I'm ready to go peek with him. But at the same time, I don't want to be blind from his flash
Yeah.
because I know he's gonna
Mhm.
pub flash that. So I might be a bit late on my move, and then I don't really know what happens next.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like it's all about fighting. Maybe I should have. This is a moment where I'm like 3v1 on my corner.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have picked wide and go one tap 2 guys
Mhm.
and not think too much.
Yeah.
And maybe I played it a bit too safe. So that's maybe one example where on Valorant sometimes you have to you have to do your things, you know. You have to go
Mhm.
peek.
I've never played a game in my life where like when you get it right, you feel like you're, Albert Einstein. You feel like you're 200 IQ. But every time we lose some rounds or even we lose some matches, it's super sad. Like it's like, holy, what were we doing? We didn't break the trip. Oh, we didn't take the smoke back. We didn't peek together. We didn't say 3, 2, 1. We didn't, like I didn't say I was going to defuse the bomb. Like you're so hard on yourselves and your teammates are so hard on themselves as well when you lose in Valorant because I don't know. What do you think, Enzo, or the desk guys? It's like sometimes I feel like there should be more rounds, but sometimes I feel like sometimes like I feel like when you're owning, you shouldn't get ult orbs. Like you're owning, right? Like you're up 5 or 6-0, and you have all your ultimates. The enemy team wins one round, you win the next round. They're broke for the next 3 rounds. You get an 11-1
Mhm.
half. It feels so bad to make mistakes in this game. It feels so awful.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
short
think
life.
the consequence of making mistakes are maybe really big on this game because then the economic impact is
Mhm.
that is following is huge.
Mhm.
But I think the main challenge is on this game what is a mistake and what is not a mistake. So when you play Valorant, especially when you come from CS initially, you have to rethink all of that. Yeah. So I think relying like you take all the things that you usually do on CS and you keep doing them, and it's really good macro wise. But then micro wise, there are things that change a lot on Valorant, you know?
Mhm.
And all the things that you've just said about getting that smoke back, breaking that trap, breaking trap is more macro, but like all these small things that you do as an individual player, these are micro things really. So I think yeah, that makes a huge difference. Like what everyone does is making a huge difference in if you're gonna win or
Yeah.
lose the game.
One thing that I find quite interesting because you just mentioned that there are like you would like to have adaptation sometimes that those winning streaks can happen that way. Is there one esport or regular sport that you could think about that, in your opinion, is not rewarding winning streaks or dominations in a way where you find it fair?
Not on the top of my head.
Right.
But I do know
Um,
in League of Legends though, if you're losing really badly, they
Mhm.
give you bonuses. I know it
Mhm.
sounds stupid,
Like
but
the
like
shutdown kill and stuff like that.
yeah, the
Well,
shutdown
and
kill.
objectives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Objectives are easily going down. You get more money from the towers at a certain
Yeah.
point of money.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's weird in the FPS though. Imagine like if someone is like 11-0 and you kill them and you get like a 5K bonus. Like
it's called
sounds stupid.
yeah no yeah no this is not good. But I think the most fair scheme of like esports wise, I think is what we see in FPS because you have the economy. The economy is boosting you up.
Mhm.
Like when you're winning, you're being rewarded from the economy. You have better gear,
Right.
better like armor and stuff. So that's the main thing. But
Mhm.
no matter what, even if you have shit economy and really bad guns, you have a chance to win because
Mhm.
you're skilled, you know? And this, I love it. So you're rewarded because you win and you have higher chances to win the next rounds, but we're just talking higher chances. We're not talking snowball of I am better and I am fed, so you have no chance to win. No matter
Fair
a key
game.
you're gonna
Yeah.
press on your keyboard, you have no chance. This is not good on an FPS, and this is something that you see more on games like League or Dota, yeah. But then, mechanically speaking, the goal on this game is gonna be to feed someone, yeah, like feed your ADC, or on Dota it could be the same as well, like, and then you get rewarded in a way, but it can be up to a point where the enemy has no chance. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
on an FPS like Valorant or CS, it's never gonna be to the point where the enemy has no chance. You,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
should, bro. You shoot the head, you can win. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the way I like it the most. Like it's in a way it's really fair. So I really like it like
Yeah.
a lot.
Exactly. Because I mean, if I again coming from CS, like if I'm using a frenzy versus like a CZ, I feel like I get more chances getting frags off the frenzy or getting more frags off a sheriff versus a deagle. You don't, Zescht. You're playing the wrong game.
What?
You're fighting Valorant too hard. Valorant's easy
You
in terms of
think
shooting.
you think that the frenzy rewards you more, or it gives you easier time killing someone than a ZZ or than a
Oh yeah.
Deagle?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, if
You're
you're
playing
comparing
1.6 and cardboard
CZ,
walls are.
if you're comparing CZ to frenzy or comparing sheriff to a deagle, I find that the sheriff is like maybe not until like a 145, but in that case, just back to the economy in itself.
I'm
I
gonna
think
interrupt you there.
I just find that
wrong game.
it's in a great spot in my opinion in terms of the amount of rounds that you have.
I
Listen,
think Frenzy and CZ are quite similar, but one thing to think about is Spectre and Marshall are much better, and Judge are much better than what you see on CS right now.
Yes.
The equivalent.
Yes.
Marshall is so OP right now on the game. People don't even realize.
Yeah.
Like it's so OP. Judge, bro, you pay 1k sick and you have a nuke weapon in your hands. No, really, like not even kidding. It's huge.
But that's what I'm saying,
in that
right?
sense, in that you can on these kind of weapons, I think you can have higher chances to win the round.
Yeah.
But higher chances than on CS because
Exactly.
that's the thing we're talking about.
Okay.
Right now.
Exactly.
Gentlemen. I'm sorry for my old senile grandpa. We're at Valorant, so we're moving over to the round that you finally win. Round number 3 that fnatic wins. Let's get back into that.
Wait,
because
really?
we're taking not the same upset. I swear to God you win this. I'm not lying. You win this round. And this time I even had something better news for you. It's over mid.
We're using mid, yeah?
Yeah, look at it. I
Man.
mean, look at it. You can look yourself. You're using mid.
Yeah, I see. So what do we have? We have Sky and
2 on B.
Chamber
Yeah.
ready to put pressure B, a trio in mid. Let's see what happens. They play the like very default defense with Chamber and Neon start B. Kaio starts somewhere he wants to knife. Yep.
Right there, perfect. Look, so they dog and they took the star back. Last time they slammed B, they did that. Our Neon was rotating A, now he's on B already. So whatever Fnatic wanted to happen, the round that they got the opening pick, they did the same thing. They broke the trip now. Now we're fucked. We don't know we don't know anything. We actually don't know anything.
Yes, and we put huge pressure on them because we have basically the whole map. Like not the whole map because we don't have A, but you can see that 1-3-1 it's looking dangerous at least, you know? Like when you're defending, you're not feeling good because you don't have a lot of space on the map. So you have to do something. It's forcing you to take decisions. So they're trying to get information on B, but you have Derke holding it, and he gets the entry. And
obviously
you
the
see
fake.
that one.
Yeah.
You see that 1-3-1 that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Here,
Bolster gets to kill.
we
on
are
the lurk,
doing
yeah.
things right. Honestly, we are doing things right. No matter how the fights would go on this round, I can say from the positioning, from the space that we took, we are doing things right.
Yeah, once again, the tempo is too quick. Like they dog B, so if we go back in the round, it looks like they might be going B. But then 3 people, including the Neon, slide through the door. It's too quick.
Yeah.
We don't look. They make a bunch of noise mid. We're like, okay, they might be going art, so we fall back a bit to art. Oh no, they're dogging B. They're gonna split B or they're rushing B, and then it goes quiet a bit. Crowd misses a shot. Now we have no info. Now we're stacked on B, and now they just go through the door. But we're not expecting 3 people to go through this door like this. That's fast.
So sometimes what an operator does on this map when he's being pushed out of B long is that he goes back to B link to sometimes take another fight on B link. And maybe here if they grouped up and tried to crunch B-Link together, maybe they would have won this round, you know? So, okay, we're getting pushed away from B-Long. Maybe let's take B-Link together. Same shit on A. Imagine they get pushed away from A main. Okay, guys, fall back and go art together. You know? Like, you lose something on, like, one of the two areas to split aside, you go take the other. And there, they kind of stood idle in elbow and entrance of B, but also they lost the fight against B-Long, and that was the main difference as well. So from them, like, staying a bit idle and not taking any initiative, or maybe not having time to organize something, they lose the round.
I think just so some of the viewers don't get distracted is that sometimes that's why I tell my teammates too. Sometimes the best thing is to do nothing. In this situation, not true. We should have been, like Enzo said, more proactive. We should have like reacted. We should have crunched them. But sometimes you don't have to do a lot, man. Like sometimes I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes just staying in your position and letting the enemy do what they want to do and into you, it's okay. But that's it's hard to call when it's perfect to do that, right?
Round number 13, let's go. There's no time to waste, because this is the point in time where you certainly and steadily get a bit in a comeback feeling. This halftime score is 9-3, obviously, as we all call it, the big curse, which at the end is nothing else in astrology for Valorant. So when we take a look at round number 13, you obviously swip over to the defensive side, and maybe we can directly take a break right here. Yes,
do we win this?
Take a look.
You win this for sure.
KO holding a knife at start of round. Hey, bro.
I'm actually gonna.
So what do we do? What do we do?
Aggressively on A is the main thing. Maybe we can restart and go big on the minimap to take a look at the default and how you start the pistol.
Sure.
Right, there you go.
Okay, I see. So we have 3 guys A main ready to hit A. I'm going to reveal, like, synchronize with them so that the enemies are distracted by the reveal. Maybe have to turn around and hit it so that my teammates get an easier time, like, fighting to somebody potentially close to them. So I think that's what happened, and Mystic got the opening. Yeah, exactly.
So
here they had to break it, and then we just peek, we fight this, we get the entry, and then we reset the round.
Yeah, RKO has a flash there, but the flash did not expect them to be that aggressive.
Okay.
So they beat the flash, and Brendan gets killed. We react towards B, but look at us. We look like worms. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, we're like all behind that pillar.
So macro-wise here, we know that A is kind of here because we did not hear any steps really. So we try to be proactive here into art. I think again we have a rotation to B, and we are proactive into art to go mid and get info. I think we are doing things right, but we did not clear the B-Link timing because someone could have been there. Yeah. So I think Cryo gets 2 kills in the back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dirk difference.
Yeah.
And Dirk does it.
This round, honestly, like, whenever you're in a big match and you're up 9-3 and you lose this pistol, is triggering. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite triggered. Especially this. I thought I was gonna win this for sure, but we come in and out of these smokes, and it just, I don't even see him. I'm actually pissed.
Yeah.
I
remember this. Yeah. I remember this really clearly when we played as well. And I can tell you, everybody was really happy in the team because on Valorant that if you get the pistol there at 9-3, you really have a chance to even it out in the end.
What I would like to know, in this case, particularly from you, Ayrin, you say obviously that the flash timing was off, and then I would like to know, and this is a general question, totally Valorant related, how fucked are your timings in general against the Neon? On paper, obviously they're fucked because it's a faster agent, right? But how in reality, and when you actually play in pracs or on officials, how fucked are some of your timings in set play simply because there's a Neon existent?
Yeah, but then the thing I wanted to say about Neon is that in Copenhagen, Neon was a menace. Same with, I think, in Iceland, especially by Victor. And then a bunch of teams started playing Neon. But at Champions, what I noticed that, through their statistics as well, is that it just wasn't becoming as crazy of a stat agent. Maybe it was still making a lot of space. Obviously, it was for us. But Neons were having a really hard time at for some reason. And the only thing I can, associate that with is that people finally caught on. But initially, in the earlier time of the year, Neon was the craziest thing. All your timings would be off, all your flashes, all your setups would be ruined. But Like here, I think in this specific round, we just didn't expect them to be that aggressive.
Right, and you know what? This is the point in time where the hopes are getting high for Fnatic. Because then when we take a look at the following round, obviously you got the plant down, which is changing economically things a lot. And a typical trend that we also see in shooters is if you win that, you force up. And guide me a little bit here for the force. Obviously, we see a lot of stingers. We see that one Spectre coming in. It's looking like you're going to hit A quite swift.
Yeah, this is. I think Rory called this. Wait, is it us or him?
I think
right?
That's you. XSET
Yeah,
is
you guys are
XSET forced.
forcing,
Yeah, XSET forced here. Yeah.
You see,
Go
see force
ahead.
left hand side.
Yeah.
You play for XSET. You obviously go for the A set, right? I mean, you're getting the 4 stingers in.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Going into this tournament, we were really high on Stinger, and I think I don't know why. we were trolling.
Everyone. Yeah.
We were trolling in a scrim. Trust me, and we started buying Stingers, and we just started owning people like nonstop. And then we played against Zescht, and we got 6 thrifty wins with the Stinger, and I think everyone in the tournament saw it. And then in this match, we said, you know what? I think Rory called this. He's like, do you want to force? And we're all like, yeah, fuck it, we'll force. And I think the strat here is to rush A, delay rush A. But it doesn't go well.
So what we need to know here as well is, we at Fnatic, during Champions, we realized that there was that Stinger potential upcoming meta of when you force, like you get that gun and you just run in, and you need to put yourself in our position where before playing XSET, we played 100 Thieves 2 times. One time we lost 2-1, and the other time we won 2-0 quite convincingly.
Yeah.
And they also tried to force buy and have stingers and stuff. And in our brains, things go really fast. We see NA team, we see they have economy to force buy. Hey, bro, stingers, they're coming for us, you know? It's really fast. So, and this is why on this round, we play longer ranges. You can see us playing like a bit from far back, not like close in the smoke and close art and stuff. We play long range. We really do. We try to. And we just win the fights when they come onto our side, and we have good rotations as well.
Yeah, these are the rounds where you're like, what on earth are we doing? So we rush the bomb site. We're like, fuck yeah, we're gonna win this round. It's gonna be so easy. And then we don't kill one person. So you're sitting there with your balls, and you're like, I got no money. It's 9-5. Oh man,
we're kind of fucked.
Are they gonna catch up for a second? You're like, fuck. Good on them. We didn't even kill one person on the force. That's the worst feeling, man. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, it feels like you did so bad. In reality, they played really well.
It almost feels like you're feeling the frustration from losing a pistol 1v1 to also going into a strategy of force buying and not getting any kills for entry, Aaron. So you must have been tilted at that point. But
yeah,
in that scenario for that second round of the second half, if it was a 1v1 that you lost versus Boaster, but there was no spike plant, would the force call still be in play here for this round here?
Sorry, come again?
So like economy wise, right? Because the previous round it was a 1v1 that you lost against Boaster. If there was no spike plant, is that still a call? Like economy wise, we should force up here and try to hit it
probably
again.
Probably not.
Okay. No. Okay. So it's really off the plant as well.
You can't get you want Stinger heavy armor. If you get Stinger light armor,
I was gonna say
it's not as good.
Okay. Because I go for the Stinger light buys and my rank is like it works, but now it's good to know that once I get pro one day, that we should just try to get the plant done.
You radiant?
I don't want to talk about my fucking rank now.
Come on, Aaron, don't call
me.
No,
I'm D-ranking down. I'm D-ranking down to like fucking D1 now.
Oh, okay.
But it's very similar to CS, where I think also teams started to pick that up. Just the same thing on attacker at one point, where they picked up. We got the spot, we got the plant down, so we can do that. But you know what? It's time to move further. We're not going to take a look at that eco round that would follow up. We're taking directly a look at round number 16, where it goes a little bit differently because. Let me put it this way. It starts to look good for XSET in this particular round. It starts to look even better for you, Ayrin.
Yeah,
that's an entry. The Derke is gonna die, I think.
Yeah, he dies. He dies here because he gets full blind.
And look at us. We have a full buy there.
Oh, this round is actually. This is the details are so important here.
Mhm.
So I zoom in on the right here. I one tap someone, and then I look away, and then my teammates immediately thought for that 1 second that it was clear. And I think Boaster gets a double, and the
That's
Yeah.
round
right.
is
That's right. That's right.
so the round is just it went from we're gonna win this round easily to it's quite scary now. And this, like I throw this wall up here. I remember this vividly, and I knew Enzo, this fucker, was gonna be on the other side of this wall. But I don't know why I threw this smoke.
Oh,
You threw a smoke. You threw a smoke. Yeah.
it's our smoke. I remember
This
now.
scared me. This scared me.
Only thing I could have done better here, I think, is I don't think waiting for my teammate is the right solution because then you guys have really good position.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I remember, I think I'm caging, like I'm seizing the ground. What I should have done is seize, reveal, and go into the smoke and try to kill anybody like revealed or something. Because what happens is I go into the smoke, I kill the guy planting, and then the chamber kills me through the smoke. I think we're gonna see my POV actually. But there's no big regret on this round. It could have gone either way, and then
You
it
could.
ends
Yeah.
up being a 1v1. So it's like I think my decision of like fighting the guy planting is actually okay. Like I could have just maybe used more utility, like a prowler or something, something more annoying to distract enemy's crosshair so it doesn't shoot me through the smoke.
No, I
That's
100%
a good
agree.
first kill.
Yeah.
That's a good first kill, and then it gets to okay. I see what happened.
The flash that we saw at the beginning of the round too for Durka, it seems like he was ready to play that as well, because I remember watching his VOD and he's running and facing the wall at the same time too. So he's already playing an anti-flash, but he got caught by just a slide coming down from Zekin. So that's just unfortunate there.
There
But
we go.
my
Yeah.
question goes into the round here for you, Enzo, because in this scenario for round number 16, you guys have just won against XSET, going for a force buy, and then also not deciding to bonus at this point, because that previous round where you had another, because you won a flawless on that round before this one, and you still had like 4 specters and I think a rifle on Durka, but then everybody decided to upgrade to not play a bonus round for Fnatic. So what's the train of thought behind that of not forcing up here, or of forcing up rather here?
It's ask Mini, okay? But no, it's like it's you want to snowball. That's the reason. You still have money even though you maximize your buy, and then you want to snowball for the rest of the half because if you win this round, then you have Phantoms and Vandals against Eco or against maybe a low buy. So it's really worth it in a sense.
Yeah.
But I don't fully agree with it. I think you can stick to playing a bonus round and then have max money for the rounds to come. The problem is that it's more like it's not really the buy. The buy, you can buy and win and then snowball. It's a risk that you can take and you maximize your chances to win. I think the problem this round is maybe that we played it like a bonus round without the bonus weapons, if you know what I
see.
mean.
Yes.
Like we go three guys aggro B, and I'm not sure it was like a high win rate, max like full weapons situation thingy. I'm not sure it was the best thing to do. But yeah, that's my answer. It's like about the weapons. It's just that you want to snowball. If you win this, you're really snowballing the game.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I think what you just said was perfect. Like 3 rifles pushing B long might not be like something that I would personally call a lot, but it worked at the end. It works out, and it's fucking sucky that it just comes down to 1v1 between Boaster and Cryo. Like,
Yeah.
like given that we killed their anchor very early, I think they actually made the round much closer than it should have been for us.
I see. And even on that, when, for me, when I see that, it's like a signature, okay, Fnatic's going for a double flank, a triple flank, something that we've seen a lot from Fnatic, for example, at Copenhagen or whatnot. I remember like some Icebox triple flanks. I remember Haven triple flanks. And in this case, because of how it played out, it was just like, holy shit, with a fight and spawn. But the goal of that was to continue through that trap, right? To continue to flank across or hold that trap as that triple flank. Because there was a trademark that was left behind by Cryo there at the beginning of the round.
Yes, but like in the maps you mentioned, most of the triple flanks came from mid.
Yes.
Sorry, mid is the topic today, but it's
Enzo
like
loves mid.
on Haven. it was on Haven. It was like mid round mid push. On Icebox, it was also mid round mid push to flank B or flank A. And there we're talking about the side of the map push, so it's a little bit different, and start of the round as well. So it's like, but I think any unexpected play like this, when you want to win the round and go on the face of your opponent, I actually like this play style. I really like it. So I don't disagree with the play. It's like it can be a good play. It's just that with full weapons, when you take a risk with your money to maximize your chances to win the round, was that the right decision? I'm not sure. Yeah, but yeah, in the end, two details. The 1v1 was lost, and second detail, like I said, I think I could have done my play better. I kill only one with my Cs. I think I could have done it better with a reveal, a prowler, something smart with the fade, because that agent is super OP to do these plays.
What do you think you could have got more of though? You think you could have killed me and then ran back, or do you think you could have killed both?
I don't know if you can go back to the play from my POV.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have killed both, but I think I could have not been killed.
You would
like
yeah.
I have two options.
That's what I think.
I seize the guy, I reveal on top right of me, so the chamber has to turn around and break that reveal while I kill the fade. Because remember, when I seize the guy, I see the tracer from the blob to the guy. Yeah? And I can kill him really easily because it's like a reveal,
Yes.
So, oh yeah, perfect, thank you. So here, I'm going to reveal on the ground.
Kill.
I hear the plant. Yeah, I struggle to hear it because we struggle to hear things, remember. But here, I hear the plant. I put my blob on the ground, maybe using a prowler on the left or a reveal to the right, and go kill that guy and then go back in. If I do that, I think I'm like that's a better play than that's a better play than just putting the Cs and going in and praying. Like I seize here, then I dog on the left, or I reveal on the right, and then I go in. And that's a thing that's pure micro, yeah? That's a thing that as a player, like as an individual pro player or upcoming player or someone who wants to become better individually, you need to look at your recordings of the practice or recordings not of the officials, because don't record officials, bro, you need FPS. But you need to look at the VOD, like the casting, like how you played the game, typically this VOD, and be like, okay, here I could have made a difference for my team. What could I have done better? Really, like micro-wise. Next time, what can I do better? And I just watch these VODs and I be like, okay, here I could have maybe done that. Next time I'm facing that situation, there's a really high chance that I do that, And you do that for every map, every situation, you improve all the time. That's the way you do it,
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay. That was wonderful, but we have to move on, gentlemen. I mean,
Sure.
listen. If it were down to me, we could sit around the fireplace for 6 hours and drink some scotch and
down.
have a great
It
time.
is up to you, Zescht.
I'm down.
It is up to you. Go ahead.
It's
Make
not
the
up
call,
to me.
man.
somewhere.
No, I
It's
don't
5
have.
p.m.
I
somewhere.
neither have. I don't have a villa somewhere. I don't have scotch. Anyway, let's move on. Right. It is time to take a look at from losing a round to the good part. Let's see if we start with a KO knife. I want to actually see if we start with a KO knife. I would be quite a. Is it KO?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
KO.
It's KO with his knife out.
It's amazing. All right, I wouldn't have expected that. Either way, moving on from that, I think it is around there where Mystic has a lot of impact. This time around, though, totally different speed and totally different essence. At this point in time, Ayrin, for you, way slower.
Yeah. Just way slower here. So you saw the KO tuck in the corner, throwing his. This is what I'm talking about. See. So that's one of the main reasons we played KO. We found that knife. Me and Rory sat in the server for an hour or two. I think this is what this is the only way Valorant is going to get better is if people sit in the server with their teammates, not just the IGL, not just the coach. Like if you're just a player on the team, volunteer with your Viper or your. I hate that. When I picked up Viper, man, I have a channel with thousands of lineups. All right, but like it's fun sometimes, but at a certain point, it's like, bro, what am I doing? I'd rather have a beer. Like, why am I doing lineups all day? Stupid. But this is one reason why we played KO, because of this lineup here. This is what I was talking about. But I think Durka tries to. This is why he's one of the best chambers in the world. He tries to go in afterwards.
Correct.
Multiple rounds.
Yeah.
So we know nobody's close. We fade dog, and now we know that he could be like anywhere peeking. We still die to it. This is fucking chamber, bro. There's not much you can do.
You saw the buttons too from Zekin trying to crouch under before.
Yeah. So we see him. We're like, fuck. He's fucking goated. Let's just go somewhere else.
And can I interject a question here? Can we, if we
Yeah.
could pause it real quick, because I want to get Enzo's thoughts. So, very much like we saw from your guys' attacking half, Ayrin, maybe you felt the same way, but that Neon's dead right away in this round. At this point in the round on defense, what threats do you feel that XSET actually bring? Because it's not like they've taken space, right? They're still fighting out of their spawn and they're Neonless.
So to have the answer to that question, you need to look at the work from our initiators. So start of the round. I would say we should go back to the start of round, or
Okay.
10 seconds into the round, and then you can really easily answer these questions. So first, there is from our POV, yeah, a little bit of pressure on A. Look at this bird.
The
The bird
flash.
goes like woo! He's dancing some Zumba stuff, yeah, in the art. Okay, whatever. So there's a little bit of pressure on A. All right, that's all we know for now. There is a fake star on B, but not triggered yet. We can move now. We can play. That's all we know for now. And then we stick on to our most default setup. What do? I dog mid. I see nothing. I stay here because the dog is not huge information, yeah? But I'm staying around mid ready to help both Art and B-Link. Now, something new happens. There's that knife on B. It's indicating us most likely there's a B take coming up. Let's see if they trigger the star. Because following that knife, if they really want to take B, they will do a fake star.
And there
So
it is.
they dog behind this position, they do the fake star, and they put pressure, and we get an entry. So here, if you look at the radar from this point, from our POV, there is a huge pressure on B, so we start rotating to B. So the Neon is shifting to B. I am shifting to B-Link from this position because I have a lot of reveal lineups from this position to help my team. So I can reveal above the Neon wall, I can reveal behind them on B, I can really help. And from being here, I can also dog mid at any time to get more information. In the meantime, our Sky is also rotating in case they rush right after the entry. And this, I really love it from Boaster, is actually pushing A. Why?
Yeah.
Because I think Sky dogged A. I'm not sure, but I
Yes, she
assume
did.
Sky
She did.
dogged A before
Yeah,
leaving.
she did.
So that's the
As you
thing.
dog towards mid.
Remember at the start of the round, there was a small pressure on A. We want to take information a little bit after that small pressure to confirm if they're here or if they left, So this
Yeah.
is why the dog was extremely valuable here.
So
So
the
yeah,
only thing I'm
go ahead.
confused about is why did he sky ult here?
Because I think after there is no pressure, he wants to get more info, and that's a
Yeah.
way to do it. I think I don't know what was the thought process of Mystic, and I don't know how the comms were, but if Boaster is pushing A, then most likely it's not an A split yet, yeah? So
Yeah,
when you ult, it's a way to maybe try to help the guys B and check if somebody is art. Maybe.
Art, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And then when he realized that there is no more pressure on B, and here Mystic is staying at spawn and he's just ready to rotate A or B, And he's checking for a lurker because
Look at
I
those.
must say, from my position here, I have to say they can be art. They can go IV, they can go art. That's my role. I really have to be aware of what's around me and be like, they can go art. So most likely I said that,
See, right there, we just saw a glitch in the game a bit, right? Like those dogs or the ultimate doesn't go through the tunnel.
The
Yeah, it
sewers,
goes
yeah?
all the way around.
Yeah. So it tricked them, but luckily they didn't rotate. But that could lose you a freaking game. Right there.
Totally, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
And
Okay.
then from the attacker's POV here, you do a big pressure on B. Enemy rotation is going to be naturally, the enemy rotation is going to go through spawn to B or B-Link to B. So the strong areas are most likely B and B-Link. So going art to A here naturally should be a correct call. And I think that's what they're doing. So right now, macro-wise, if they keep committing there to A, they're doing the right decision. So this, from what I said before, from my perspective, is a round that they could have won. Because they're making the right call here. And us, from Mystic's POV, he has to get that kill, and then he has to fall back and play safely because he has no one, nobody can help him, Absolutely nobody can help him. So he has to fall back, play safely, and he knows that somebody in his team pushed A, so he can rely on that guy, and that guy is Boaster right now. So yeah, I think tactically this round was super interesting.
Right.
And I also think that the universe thinks that XSET should have won this round, but Mystic just wasn't having any of it.
We should.
Yeah.
because he ends up like getting a 4K, and for that like entire A push, he has 24 health, and he just shits on everybody.
What I like from this round from Mystic is that it's not only like individual prowess or just he killed everyone. What I like is that he played it really well.
His
Like, he
util.
sees there's a gap, he's positioning himself with an off angle on that gap. He gets one, and then he falls back and waits for his teammate because he knows that when he retakes A, there's a crunch because somebody pushed A. So tactically, Mystics played it super right. Like, it's really good from him.
Moving a little further, right? Because there's the point in time where you guys are starting to dominate, and obviously XSET is starting to fall back. You take the timeout prior to round number 18, post number 17. And I just want to know if you by any chance remember anything of the timeout and anything you particularly talked about, or whatever your perfect adaptation was in the upcoming few rounds.
Yeah, I think I'd be lying if like you should have saw when we were walking on stage, and the amount of cheers their team was getting, and the amount of cheers we were getting, and it was like we killed someone. It was like we killed a European player or something, and that we were gonna get fried. So at this moment, the crowd is like making us feel, it's our first stage match as a team, and for some of our players, the first real stage match ever. So, sitting there, obviously, I think we were, well, I wouldn't say we were nervous, but it was like, come on, guys, like 10-8, like we got to step it up. And I think, I think also when you play the Valorant a lot, sometimes you trick yourself, or even when you play pro sports mentality, you have to trick yourself a bit. So, I think we're really good at that as a team. So we probably, if I remember correctly, just said like, we have a round, or like Rory or like the coach or someone said, I know what to do next round. Like with that, that conviction in their voice, like I know what to do.
Charge.
I know what to do. I know what you need to do. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna win. And not sometimes it doesn't always work, right? But you need that conviction because prior to popular belief, or contrary to popular belief, is like there's not much you can say in a timeout other than talk more, talk about what you're going to do, talk about what the enemy's doing, and just constantly talk between each other to try to come out with the best possible chance of winning, even if that's like a 5% chance strategy. If that's the best, then you throw your best. You can't say stuff like, "Oh, guys, we're losing. We need to focus." What?
You have no time. Like, there's no time, really.
When I hear that from my teammate, when someone says, "Don't worry, guys, we're gonna win," I'm like, "Shut up, man!" Like, can we, like,
But what do you want to hear in the time? Like,
only strategy. Only the strategy, only the communication. What is the enemy team doing? What are we going to do to win the next round?
Nothing
only the
motivational.
Next round.
Nothing.
Like, there's nothing you can say motivationally that can trick a high-level competitor. Like, if Michael Jordan misses 10 threes in a row, you think his coach is going, "Oh, man, like, you're going to hit this next three, bro. Don't worry. You're the GOAT." No. it doesn't happen, man.
Fair play.
That's awesome.
I mean, I get the point, particularly with 1 minute. You don't have too much to say. I have good news for you, though. And bad one for Enzo. Let's see if we start a KO knife, because things are starting to look good for you guys after particularly a timeout. And maybe you can guide us through a little bit. What particularly changed in your eyes from the pre-timeout?
It is a KO knife.
It is a KO.
But Fnatic is not winning that. I'm sorry to say that. What do you think in your eyes changed from the pre-timeout XSET to the now post-timeout XSET?
I think the past 4 or 5 rounds we've been playing a bit too slow, a bit too passive, and we have the Neon ult now, so I already know what's going to happen here. We probably just rush B.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't want to disagree with you. It very much looks like it, to be very frank.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So it's what they did.
Pacing's quick too.
It's you asked the same question in the first half as well. It's like that's exactly what they did out of a timeout as well, and it was like we couldn't find an answer. They were playing really well, so we just
in a good way.
Yeah. We pop all our ults. Maybe we don't even need that ultimate, right? But we do it because it's 10-8. And we need a round.
Yeah.
So unlucky for them. Like, they just only had Chamber there, and he had to TP out. It just wasn't part of their setup.
What do we have to retake here? We have no ultimates. We have an Astra ultimate. So we need to group up, be synced, and retake together while expecting a push. So let's see what we do.
So
I love the upcoming segment.
Yeah, so that's why we're so close. You see that? We're doing 2-2 because we know. So Brennan goes for a great kill. That's
Can you
really
pause
good
there?
for us.
Because we see a lot of things there.
Maybe we go a
Like-
little bit backwards a few seconds, and then we can pause again.
Yeah,
Maybe-
yeah. When we group up and when we are about to retake.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
in that kind of games at this level, I mean, I would say most of the time, but especially at this level,
Let's
you
pause here.
always have to be aware of
Yeah.
what ultimates the enemy have or the have to plant.
Mm-hmm.
And there, when you're XSET, you need to be like, guys, they have Astra ultimate. All right, what
Mhm.
does that mean? Either you have to aggro them,
Yeah.
because with Astra ultimate, if you don't have like a huge combo like flash reveal and stuff, or poisons, molotovs and stuff to after plant, you
Yeah.
cannot win the round. So you need to either be strong elbow or close to them and ready to kill them when they're close, you know?
Yeah.
So they chose option 2. They go close and they're ready to kill. Now you can move a little bit forward, and when we are about to retake, because here micro wise, when we look at
You
the
say stop.
retake,
Yeah.
I think our neon is a little bit too early. Our neon is retaking just a little bit early. We need to, or my dog, my prowler was too late. I don't know
Okay.
which one it is, right? But my dog should go, neon should follow, she should come out, and she should fight on my dog. Yeah. That's the first thing. Now, second thing, look at our Astra ultimate. It goes
Yeah.
from the screens to the bottom left of sight. It's gonna pop in a few seconds. When you look at this ultimate, what do you do with this ultimate? You cannot diffuse the spike with it instantly. Like this is not the ultimate from the spike to the bottom left of sight. This
Yeah.
is an ultimate from top left of like from left of screens to bottom left of sight. So when you see this ultimate, what you need to do is massively take elbow, fight elbow, and you need to use utility to take elbow. And I don't think I don't think this is what we've done. Like the neon should be the one going into elbow with utility, like a flash, a suck from Astra into elbow, like a prowler, something really hard into elbow. But we cannot do that, you know, because neon is B-Link,
Yeah.
and she's not heaven or she's not lower or anything. She's like B-Link, and micro was she dies first without any help, right? So
Yeah.
we just did a wrong retake.
Should Sky
basically.
be with you there too? Because Mystic had 2 flashes available, right? But in this moment, Mystic goes for the flank to fight against Cryo in the later round of the retake.
I think on this scenario, like a delayed flank is actually nice. I think it can work. It can work, yeah. But of course, if he's with us, he's going to be valuable too. So it's really up to him. It's up to the team as well.
Yeah.
There, like it ends up on a 1v2, but again, I think the guy's elbow and the guy's close on sight, they did too much damage, way too much.
Yeah, Vansilli, to answer your question, it's so hard there, especially as a caller or as a like a veteran on a team. It's like, does he flank there or does he not? If you tell him not to flank there and he feels like you guys don't have the connection as friends or whatever on whatever team you're on, then in the future he might never flank, and then it's not as simple. It's so hard there. Like,
yeah.
I've seen so many.
I
people
get that
get
too.
hurt.
For sure.
It's a mix between trusting your teammate's decision because it's gonna be the right one most likely, and also doing the thing that's gonna make you win the round. Is it good if he flanks? Maybe it is. I don't know. It's a mix between these two things.
Yeah, no, I get that. And especially when you're talking about how, you need a utility to take elbow, but let's say Mystic did go with you guys and had the flashes. This still becomes like a long range planet for both Cryo and Ayrin. Like Cryo being the best rifler in the games, at least from watching this matchup, playing for a plant that's for them, where the flank would have been useful too. So I totally get that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always a bit of a decision where afterwards you're always smarter, but in the moment it might have been the right move. It always feels a lot like Valorant, where everyone in Twitch is going to be like, "Why is he flanking? Why is he flanking?"
Thank you, thank
you.
Yeah.
The best players on the best teams do not use hindsight a lot. Like, oh man, you should have done that. You should have done this. Yeah, I freaking know, man. I know I should have done this, but like, it doesn't work out like that, man. And if you always do that, bro, you won't be a pro, or you'll be a pretty bad pro player, because it's like, that's just not how it works.
Just to follow up on that, do you mean hindsight? You don't mean hindsight in general. You mean hindsight in the moment, in the heat of the game.
Both. I mean, like, okay, look, right after the game, I don't want to hear it because there's nothing we can do,
of course.
right?
Yeah.
But it's better to, like what Enzo was saying earlier, it's always, man, everything is solution based, everything is communication based. you can never just be like, oh man, you shouldn't have flanked. Like that doesn't
Right.
really do a lot.
Of course. Yeah.
But you can do more like, what do you think? Like, do you think like that flanking was good
I
there? And
see.
if they say it's good, then it's good for that moment, because there's also things that you can't. People think that pros go into a server for 3 hours and you micro analyze every detail. That's what I think we used to do 2-3 years ago. But it, at certain points, it's the game. As stupid as that sounds, sometimes as a caller or as a coach or as an analyst, you can't just analyze every single detail or mistake and be like, you should have done this or you should have done that. Just it's unrealistic, to be honest.
You can't, but you can easily focus on solutions to build habits to win the round. So as an example for the round that we just saw, just like I said, first talk about the macro. Like, is that ultimate good? I think it is, but then it means we have to focus on elbow more. Now about the micro. Did we retake properly? Yo, Alpha. Alpha, frérot. Bro. When you retake that site, I reveal above them. When I say I dog, when I say I prowler, then you let him cross you, like go past you, and then you come out. You know, that's what I would do with Alpha. You know, like that's what we did a lot together on a lot of scenarios because we played hundreds of hours together. You know, so you go when you see the prowler in front of you, you follow the prowler and you go like a teammate, like you trade the prowler. You know,
Right.
and then when you focus on micro like this, you create habits and you maximize your chances to win the round by doing that. Because here, imagine I reveal I dog or I dog and then I reveal whatever I do, and then Alpha gets the entry and then everybody's going in. Imagine that happens. Woo, maybe we win. Like there's a higher chance we win. And that is something you can focus on because that is something that you have power over. You can make it like you can change that, you know?
Yeah.
The things
Right.
about the game being sometimes random and somebody is hitting a key and spraying and running and shit. Hey, you cannot do much about that sometimes, you know? Like but this you can really do a lot of things about it. And you
Yeah.
can change it and you can improve on it.
Okay, can I summarize it that in both of your ways that you should not necessarily change actions in the future, but the habits that cause the actions.
Yeah, that's.
Is that
I
a way
mean,
to?
I think so, but also focus on what you can control as well.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know how we can add this part to the magic sentence, but I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one. Like by creating habits and creating protocols, you're going to make good actions and good decisions.
Automated actions that then results in success. Okay, yeah, makes absolute sense. Okay, gentlemen, we have 2 more rounds ahead of us, and 2 more rounds means unfortunately Fnatic doesn't win. So let's go into that because first of all, hey, what should I say, man? They lost. It's on paper. I can print it out. What should I do? I'm not lying to anyone. I even have the Fnatic jersey back there in my closet. Okay, it's not like I'm not a fan. Yeah, 100%.
Me too. The poster jersey.
It's the most comfortable jersey. I always wear it to gym. It's the most comfortable I wear.
Yeah. It's quite comfy. It's quite comfy.
It is. Like it is. So back to you because
so many of them.
It is very good that we go into the next round because it's also a clutch of you, Ayrin, where you maybe can talk us a bit through your micro. But let's first of all go through the entire round itself, right? Where it's looking quite good for you. You're again a little focused on the B side, and Fnatic nearly has a reply to that. But let's take a look at it from your perspective.
Yeah. So Cryo goes, I'm lurking A. And this is one of those moments we were just talking about. I'm lurking A. And we're like, that's it. That's all he said. He says, I'm lurking A. And we're like, okay. And then we're just going to do our B thing, right? So then you can keep playing. We do everything we do for an execute. And then Cryo is on the greatest lurk that, people have ever seen. But...
And that's the little adaptation that we see from Durka, right? Getting away from the knife that was thrown by Def, getting into smoke, getting an off-angle kill. Like, that type of adaptation is awesome.
Yeah, no, right there. That was so... He kills a guy, goes out of his smoke, teleports out. We lose our neon, so I pop my wall. Because our team has a good feeling. They still think that we can win this 3v5. I don't know why or how, but they're like, we can win still. We can take the site. And I was like, okay. Pop my wall. Yep. Don't feel too good about this right now. Like look at this. We shouldn't be able to get that plant that easily.
Yeah.
But Fnatic chooses to play full retake. We get the God plant, that's what we call it. It's just the best plant you can get in the game. They're using a lot of utility, but they're not coming through the wall. So Brendan stays alive for a little bit longer, and the lurk gets activated.
Yeah, that lurk was huge, actually, from Cryo, for sure. delaying the time was definitely the key play to allow those cryo kills to happen.
Whoa. And now it gets to the point where exactly Cry gets that, but now you're in that 1 versus 2. Do you want to simply talk us through and what's your thought process in that, or would you say it's so simple I just have to kill him?
No, this is, trust me, you look at this and some people be like, man, what is he doing?
Yeah.
So I peek on top of the box initially. If you go back a pixel, or just pause it right as I peek.
Yeah, that's good. We can run from here.
Yep. Just pause it as soon as you get to me.
And wait, stop.
So
Is that good?
So I go up and I peek, and my plan is to kill the diffuser. But I'm not gonna lie, I see Durka as well, and he shoots at me once, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm probably gonna die here. So I peek to the right while still scoped in, which is actually really rare, because I still want to kill the planner. I'm gonna kill that fucker really badly, but I still can't kill him. But then I re-peek right away because I know Durka I know he's a good teammate. I know he's a good player. So what he's gonna do, he's put in a not the ideal position. He has to move to the right to block the planter and kill me first.
Yeah.
So in a way, my crosshair placement is a bit better than his, because I could go on top, I can go to the left a bit, I can go to the right. But for me, it's an easy shot. So it's a good clutch, but it's an easy shot because my crosshair is literally straight. I don't have to ever move it. I know what the headshot level is, but he has to guess where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, basically you have only one target from this angle because of how small the angle is. So you want to kill the planter, that's one target, but obviously if they line up, then out of a sudden you have 2 targets on the crosshair. So it's like it's a really good angle to end up with on that clutch.
Yeah.
And before getting to that clutch too, because Aaron's talking about popping the wall, and he mentioned, hey, Fnatic's actually playing like a full retake. So what was the plan here for Fnatic when XSET was hitting that B site? Why play the full retake when maybe you had the utility to flash through the wall and fight back if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, it's most likely because of 2 things: the Astra ult first, and we are weak B because we have 3A at one point when you look radar. So when you have a man advantage like that, you might as well just wait for each other and just retake together. And you don't have to take risk 2v4, or technically for us it was 2v4 on B with the info that we have. We don't know about the Creo lurking from overpass to train to Pearl to A to spawn, like that guy really comes from far away. On
He was trekking.
So we don't know about him. So, and then look at right now and look at my Prowler. It's going in elbow. Instead, it could have went on the planter, and then we flashed through the wall and we crossed and we killed that guy, and we used the smoke from Astra to kill that guy. Yes, it could have worked like that, and I think it should have worked like that. But the problem is, we were scared of elbow, so I have to Prowler into elbow. I'm kind of forced to, because if somebody goes and take elbow and crosses the wall somehow, then we could all die,
2 of you,
So
2 or 3 of you guys are
when
dead.
you look at this round, I'm like, guys, next time when there's an Astra ult like that, make sure you have elbow. If you make sure we have elbow, then we can rotate, come dog, flash reveal or flash dog at the same time, cross the wall and kill someone. And I can even seize the guy planting if I have one, So again, great habits that is gonna make you win the round. See what made you fail, try to prevent it from happening next time. And here I think it's an easy fix. Don't make sure you have elbow, and then do your play and hit them in the face together. Because it's just one detail away from winning the round. Here, honestly, we kill the planter and stuff. They cannot win this. They cannot win this. That guy can be lurking from split, even if the map is not on the map pool anymore. He's gonna be useless because he's too far away.
Yeah.
But then, they managed to plant because of these small details,
Yeah.
And then the clutch happens 1v2 and he wins it. So, it's a close round, but a very interesting one again.
Awesome.
That is you need to see always when there's things that we can put in concise little sentences to learn, and I'm very happy that you used that. You know what, we have to dive in the final one round, and I can tell you one thing, because you talked about lurking. This is legit by production named cryolurk_Ayrin_mapwin. So I can imagine what happens, right? So let's take a look at the final round number 21 that we're absolutely diving into. As we see, again, you guys are trying a little bit something, a bit more B heavy this time, Enzo.
I don't know why. Maybe
Okay.
because
Yeah,
they're
sure.
maybe because they're spamming B and we're like, okay, let's do a double bait on B.
Yeah.
Considering also our economy that might not be the best, so we have
Mhm.
to use that neon ult when they burst out on us, and we have to rely on that chamber ult as well. So if
Yeah.
you look at our economy, like I'm playing with a guardian, like we don't have much, yeah.
Mhm.
So we need to make a play, and the decision was to make the play on B. The rest, I don't know much. I am filling the gaps in mid with my fade, trying to get info over everything that is happening.
Mhm.
And that's it. Right now, I think I'm feeling that there is a lot of pressure on me over B-Link. I lost B-Link, so I need to fall back. And then they're pushing me, and let's see what happens.
Mhm.
My teammates are pushing B long.
When
So we speed up, yeah. So
yeah.
Brendan and Zach, second, they take the B link. It just looks like a good A split because we
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
react. We have to react.
I think the title of it being like Cryo Lurk, for me, what I had in my notes was just like him having such great off positions. He surprised Fnatic on a push and rotations 3 times into the round itself, where maybe he was left unaccounted for at that point through Fnatic's rotate for what you guys had going on here, Enzo.
Yeah, and here, like my job is to be aware of somebody potentially lurking because they wanted to take B-Link, so I know somebody's B-Link. And also Boaster pushing A tells me like I can rely on Boaster because when they're gonna plant on A, we can do something together and crunch them.
Right.
But things go wrong. Things go really wrong because we die on our positions there. We die Art on the flank
Can you
and
pause?
the
There you go. Not you. The round.
okay. We just like things go wrong because our guy who pushed A, I don't know what happened. Maybe he crossed the smoke or something. He dies and he did not get the impact that he could have had from this position. And then it allows XSET to just reset, like not reset, but being like, all right, they rotated to A. Let's just go back to B together now.
But look how fast it goes right or wrong because like 5 seconds before he dies, I was literally saying we can't go, man. Like I was like we can't go away because there's a smoke there at the choke point. Boaster just kills one of us already. We trade him, but we don't know where the hell the other players are. They could be camping on A already. They could be A main. So I was like, we can't go. So at this point, for me, the round feels like really hard. But just because of one kill right here, the round opens up again.
Like had this been a double kill from Boaster from this position,
Yeah.
like it would have been insane, yeah. And you need to realize what happened with Derke here. I think you should go back at when Derke is pushing double doors to realize what happened.
I don't
and
know
go
how
on
that
his
happened.
and go on this POV, because from what I see on radar, there is an anomaly here. Something weird.
Yeah,
happened.
something ain't right. Something ain't right.
It's the caster's classic
look
call,
at-
ships in the night.
That's, yeah. And then he shoots and he's like, "Whoa, I missed him. I'm gonna die here. He has big gun." And then he dies, you know. So that's yeah, that's unfortunate. It's like yeah,
No.
if he pushes mid and kills the second lurk here on the right, because I also killed the lurker, I think it's really hard for them to win the round because then they're closed in. They're really like in a box, you know, from mid, from spawn. What can they do? They can go IV to B-Link, but it's really hard for them to do that. Like
This
it's a lot
got
of
really
pressure, you know?
scary. It still got scary.
Yeah.
But so Brendan pings, BCJ pings, and I think this smoke right here that I throw that I wouldn't have thrown because I'm so focused on the round. It won me the round. Mystic has a massive play here. Luckily, I have this smoke right here for a second. If I didn't have that smoke, I lose the round. It's that simple.
And then it's up to the 1v1, yeah.
Yeah.
But the only reason that smoke was up there is because Brendan called it. My teammate, who's dead, who's not even playing the game, is saying like, "You have one smoke, Jordan. You should maybe throw that smoke there." Because I don't know where to throw it in the moment, man. You don't know where to throw it.
Yeah. Something very underrated as well is, as you know, sometimes in like tier 2 teams in practice, death talk and dead talk. It seems like people are absolutely shut up. I'm playing. No, it's if your actual teammate has super valuable information, that is super important.
Yes.
It's people underestimate that shit. It's insane. They'd be like, "Don't talk to me," but it's so important.
Actually,
Go ahead.
was there a conversation around that after, Ayrin? Because you win, of course. Now you're having a drink at the hotel celebrating the victory against Fnatic. But is there a conversation between you and BCJ being like, Brendan, why'd you tell me to smoke that spot, and what was his thought process? Was it just trying to hide against like the back and forth off a post plant within the smoke? What was his reason to
Oh,
tell you to smoke there?
there's one smoke left. I need to plant the bomb. There could always be a guy camping in any one of those corners on B. And he thought that smoke was the best one to put down to get the plant down. And
Okay.
just luckily, I think he might know he knows there. But
Yeah.
yeah. So should we move on to Fracture?
No, that's the only map we're doing. Wait, are you serious?
No.
I mean, listen, man. I'm down. But we have only one map plan. I love the enthusiasm. This is the best thing I heard throughout this entire show by a mile. I'm not even joking.
That and mid.
That
and mid control.
One thing that I would very much like to both of you to ask before we head off. And I think this is something that, we talked a lot about things besides very particular things, about fundamental things. We talked about habits, we talked about behaviors, we talked about communication. What I would like, first of all, I'm starting with you, Ayrin. If there's like a fresh player joining Valorant and he's being good, he has a high rank, but has the ambition to actually join the pro scene, what would be like 3 things that you personally would give him as advice to actually enter and learn by himself how to become better?
Yeah, first of all, it's like you gotta play the game a ridiculous amount. Like, um, I played Crossfire for 5 years as a pro. Went to the corporate world, went through a bunch of business degrees, came back, and the only reason why I was able to become a pro in Valorant is at the very beginning I spent like 15, 16 hours a day. There was no work-life balance. It wasn't healthy. But if I didn't play, how could I catch up to the people that have been gaming for 5, 6 years nonstop? Work ethic, not just hours. It's so hard, man. And if people would listen, it's like just playing ranked is not going to help. But you need to actually have like goals or like what you're going to do in rank. Today, I'm going to focus on my aim. On Ascent, I'm going to focus on playing these corners. Maybe on this map, I'm a quieter guy in scrim, so I'm going to try and tell people to talk
Right.
more here.
Yeah.
And then number 2, it's like no opportunity is just going to come to you, man. Not everyone is like Durka or Cryocells, where like you're just so talented that people are just gonna give you opportunities. It's just not realistic. Like you gotta always be seeking the opportunities. And the third one is just for me, it's just attitude and like I just don't get it. Like when people are toxic, maybe because I'm getting old, it's like, shut up, man, shut
I feel
up.
you.
Like nobody cares that you're toxic. Like it's kind of annoying. And I just think like if you have a good attitude, you work hard, you're always seeking out new opportunities, you have a good attitude, you want to learn from people.
Yeah.
Even the people who are worse than you, they're always better than you at something, right? I mean, like it's just all about the attitude, man. Like if you're always complaining and you're always thinking it's someone else's fault, or you're saying that like you didn't get this because of that person all the time, you'll start to believe it. And I think the most important thing to sum it all up is if you can't envision it and you can't believe it, that you're gonna play on champions one day, or like you could win a title, then you can't win, bro. It's not luck, man.
Yeah.
You can't just win a title, right?
Yeah, and obviously, thank you very much for that. It's wonderful to hear exactly that. The same from you, Enzo. You're coming from a different game, for example, also from a different region. What would be the 3 things that you would give to exactly the same group of players?
I think to a player that is an upcoming player who grinded the game and has talent and wants to do that step, like that one more step to become a pro. First, I would tell him, like, or her actually, I will tell them like work super hard no matter what. Keep working, because this is how you get better. Yeah. Like don't think that somebody like a Zaibu player who seems super naturally talented is not working. These guys are working. Like it's all about dedication and work. So that's basically what Ayrin said about grinding. Yeah, it's very much the same, but I would say work towards achieving a goal. Like really focus on that part of your game. Try to watch that VOD and really understand why this agent is working well on this map and how this pro player is playing it, and get inspired by it and copy paste what he's doing and try to get better from that every single day. Second thing I would say, trust yourself. Don't think that because you're maybe unexperienced or less experienced than someone else, know that when you're going to play on stage against the best in the world, you are better. Trust yourself, because you're going to destroy everyone. Just trust yourself, trust what you do. Don't get cocky or arrogant, but just trust yourself and you're the best, like you're better. But stay open-minded and know that there is always something to learn wherever you go and whoever you play with. Learn from them,
Yeah.
And I would say this the third one is third advice I have is about attitude. Like always be honest. First, I think honesty is a super like important value, and
Yep.
always care about your teammates because in the end, you and your teammate and your coach, like everyone in your team, you guys all share the same faith, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to take care for each other and help each other and advise each other and also speak the truth to each other. That's what I mean. Like be
Yep.
honest. When someone is doing something good or something wrong, just have an open talk and be honest. These are the three advice I have. Yeah, like just
Yeah.
work, trust yourself, and
Yeah.
have a good attitude. Be honest and always care for the people around you.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I think I couldn't thank you two enough for sticking for 2 hours and not only just saying things for the sake of it. It has been wonderful to hear you two speak about the game. It has been excellent insight.